Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy. This is going to be a review of the Incot IronCat HPC 01M Pro. Don't let the name fool you. This is a feature-packed mouse that is unlike anything else on my desk. Obviously, it has this like pearlescent CSGO COD camo type of coating design, which is pretty cool, and it is actually like a grippy coating, so it does work out functionally as well. But the big selling point of this mouse is the fact that it has HOTSWAP switch features, which really no other mice have, and it is a pretty simple system. I'll show it later on in the video. They also introduced these new Huano clear switches and silent mouse switches. So there's just a lot to cover from that end. Everybody make sure to leave a like and subscribe for Rex, who just decided to interrupt my video and jump on my desk. But yeah, with that out of the way, first thing I want to cover is actually the silent switches. I will get into the actual mouse design and implementation as well, but it's just there's some stuff we haven't seen before, so why not cover that? So you can choose to take the switch all the way out, or you can leave it connected. They do provide you a switch puller, and it's really just simple as that. But yeah, and then once you get the new switch, you just simply put it so the switch dot is facing the top, and then slip it right back into the mouse. Sometimes it does take me a little second, but not right here, conveniently for the video. You can hear that's the silent switch versus a TTC Gold. So you can obviously still hear the sound, and when you press it, it does have a kind of like mushy rubber dome type feeling. It's totally usable, completely spammable, not too heavy to use by any means. Do I like it for something like a precision clicking scenario, spam editing in Fortnite? Like, not over a normal switch, but it's totally fine. And if you are somebody who actually does need to have your switches like silenced, or I think muted would be a better word, then go for it. But yeah, it's not like these silent switches are an absolute game changer, but they are totally unique in that I just can't think of any other silent mouse switches. So if you are somebody who has a passion for gaming mouse micro switches, which I feel like is niche compared to something like keyboards, but even so, in that case, this is the mouse for you. Just the fact that you can so easily have a different switch in mouse 1 and mouse 2 without soldering on a small lightweight mouse that doesn't really compromise too much. I mean, I'll get into it. I don't think this is necessarily the go-to small mouse, but if you are somebody who just enjoys testing different switches, I would say this is the mouse to do it on. Adding to the click-related features, they allow you to take off the skate at the top of the mouse, and you can see the two little screws, and you can adjust the click tensioning as well. I'm not gonna lie, this one is a bit more gimmicky in that I just don't notice that much of a difference, but China's just throwing everything they have at this mouse when it comes to click technology. The actual tensioning and quality, if anybody's wondering, is good. You can see there is some like decent wobble on mouse 1, but it's nothing that I ever found like impacting me in game. Not really any pre-travel worthy of note, and post-travel is fine. So I would say all around the click implementation is solid, very customizable obviously, and the switches they provide out of the box are a good variety, though I feel like the Omrons are kind of a waste. Maybe they could have put like different Huanos. I don't know, I'm kind of just spitballing, but I definitely preferred the TTC Gold implementation the most. It just felt like how I feel a mouse click should feel. The silent ones are interesting, like I said before, but I just don't like the way they have like kind of a rubbery, bouncy feeling to them. But at the end of the day, they were totally usable in game. But yeah, now I'm going to get to the actual shape of this mouse, which is something that I saw people talking about a good bit. It was getting compared to a GPX Mini, and for the first time out of a lot of mice, I actually see it. Like, it follows a similar like hump philosophy. It's a pretty narrow mouse, but it is unfortunately the same weight as a GPX, despite being much smaller. So it does just have a more dense, bulky feeling that, compared to not only the GPX, but really every other small mouse that I test as well. So something like the X2H, the Viper Mini, just the normal X2 Mini, Endgame Gear OP1 Wii, which I will have a review of out soon, by the way. But yeah, it is just, I would say, closest to a GPX Mini. As you can see, there just is actual resemblance. It does seem like a scaled down version of the shape. But one thing to note is that the button height just feels abnormally high, especially compared to other smaller mice that have like lower profile buttons. Like, you can just see the difference there. And yeah, with the GPX 2 launching in around 3 days of this video going live, it's just, I feel like this is a hard mouse to justify the purchase of at $120 unless you are purchasing it for the technology it has, the accessories, and all of that stuff. Of all the mice on my desk, this is seriously probably the last one I would go to in game. It does have a Nordic MCU, 3395. It is 4K compatible. I don't have whatever 4K dongle it works with. There is this G mode, which I think stands for gaming, but I just can't get the mouse to work with that. The DPI does feel insanely high. Like on 3200 DPI, which is what I play, it feels like 3600 or like 4000. It is significantly higher. Obviously, you can account for that by lowering your sense, but it's just something to note. That was what I found to be off with the sensor implementation. The sensor does look to be pretty centered, actually. I thought it was a bit low. But yeah, I would just say this is like a solid mouse shell, and quality-wise, like the actual build quality of the shell is impressive. Maybe it has like thicker plastic, which is leading to that dense feeling, but yeah, it does feel heavier than 61 grams. But yeah, all around, it is a cool package. I'm definitely not saying to avoid it, but definitely don't buy it thinking it is the best thing since puffed wheat, and if all you care about is a serious, like, high performance gaming mouse, I would say wait for the GPX 2 to drop, even if you do have smaller hands and you aren't a huge fan of the original GPX shape. And yeah, I do know they have a non-pro version of this mouse that is only $80, is not compatible with 4K and does not hot swap, but it still is a $33.95 mouse. So yeah, if you are somebody who doesn't care about switches or the potential for 4K, which honestly, I don't even know like which dongle you need to get 4K, but that is besides the point, then you could go for the non-pro standard version. But I feel like the big selling point of this mouse is the hot swap switches, because that's just not a thing that American companies seem to be able to offer since Asus has the patent. So this is like a really interesting like gray area in the market. Maybe it's completely allowed, but I just know it's not a common feature. And like I mentioned before, there are some accessories. You do get Infinity Glide glass mouse skates, which I have not thrown on the mouse, I'm not gonna lie, and you do get some replacement skates for the top area where they allow you to adjust the tensioning. The PTFE skates were surprisingly good, but it's just like a really weird design with the skates on the adjustable like click pieces. So put it simply, the skates don't help the mouse feel any lighter when you're moving it around, but I would say for stock skates they were really passable. I don't know what else there is to mention about this mouse. The side buttons were surprisingly good, like definitely better, less mushy, like better tensioning than the G Pro Superlight side button, so hopefully that's something they address when they drop the new mouse. But yeah, that's going to be about all for this video. I will leave a link in the description to the listing on MechKeys. Very unique, interesting product. I mean, just looking at the fucking pearlescent design of the coating, it's just something you don't see every day. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you have any other questions, you feel like I missed anything, feel free to let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be all. Peace.
The last few PSA sales in the same grade. And I'm paying a lower grade, and then back a lot. I'm like, yeah,
33 white.
That makes all the sense in the world. Yep. So yeah, it's interesting. There's definitely advantages.